As has been the case this year on the PGA Tour, no rest for the weary following a major championship. We go to Cromwell, Connecticut for this week's Travelers Championship, where Keith Stewart is live on the grounds to preview the Travelers. And many familiar names and faces, Keith, in the field this week. Another signature event on the PGA Tour.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're going to see a lot of similarities. Maybe not in distance. It's the same par. But you know what? It's a firm and fast test up here at TPC River Highlands. We haven't seen much rain. And certainly that warm weather has followed me up the East Coast. It is steamy up here.
So, by the way, Keith, looking at last week. Oh, go ahead, Donnie.
No, go ahead. You're good. Set it up. Set it up for me, Ben. Go ahead.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. So, Keith, last week at the U.S. Open, we had one of the best final rounds we have seen in a major in a very long time, and that even featured, or did not feature, I should say, Scottie Scheffler, world number one, who had been so dominant after a victory at the Memorial, victorious in 5 of his last 8 events, and yet Scottie Scheffler remains the favorite this week at the Travelers. How do you expect, if the word is even correct, Scottie to bounce back this week at the Travelers Championship? That says the U.S. Open and includes Rory McIlroy, but I believe that's the Travelers Championship odds.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's no doubt that he is absolutely the number one player in the world. The argument, I guess, comes more along the lines of is Xander or Bryson number 2. But getting back to Scottie, the U.S. Open, and I was fading him last week, and I didn't think he would win because the things that he's really good at is his approach play. And everyone having to hit from 50 feet from the pin and couldn't attack the pins, it kind of mitigated his superpowers. Well, you know what? Here it's up at TPC River Highlands. It's going to be a similar situation where everyone has a wedge in their hand and they're not using a long iron where Scottie really separates. Like at a place like the Memorial, you're going to find that the field is going to be much more tightly packed. And although Scottie will certainly be in the top 10 at the end of the week, I think somebody edges him with the putter because at the end of the day, this is definitely a glorified putting contest.
I love this too, Keith, because you take a look at what the PGA has done, and maybe you can give a little bit of credit to Live Golf because these elevated events are keeping guys playing before majors and after the majors, which is a great thing to see. If we are looking at the top of the leaderboard, as you stated, Scheffler, Schauffele, Morikawa, Oberg, is there anybody else on there, maybe a sort of a long shot, that you think has the ability to rise up this weekend and take it?
Well, at the top of the board, I think fatigue is obviously going to be a factor. And even Xander didn't have his best stuff last week. I know he finished T7, but you know what? You're really going to have to be hot with the putter this week, and you're going to have to be able to go super, super low. And I like the fact that Ludwig Oberg kind of ejected from the tournament before he really, really had the mental grind of Sunday to take him like maybe to a point where he'd be exhausted. And that kid can definitely go low. I remember covering him at Sea Island where he goes 61-61 on the weekend, and he just takes over the tournament. And it was a driver, wedge, and putter fest. And that's exactly what we have this week. Those are the 3 things that you've got to be able to do here. Now, if I go a little further down the board, I love a guy like Russell Henley. His odds started at the week at plus 4,000, and they've already dropped down to plus 3,300. Everybody's on him like me, and for good reasons. I mean, he has a bunch of starts here, 6 starts here with 4 top 20s. I mean, the guy always contends, and he was the number 1 putter at Pinehurst. And you're going to need that skill this week in order to score and get to what's going to be at least 20 under par.
A good final round Sunday out of Henley. Not a great weekend for Ludwig Oberg. Like you, Keith, I had him top 10. They were offering me a cash out when he had the lead following Friday. Thought about taking it. It was nearly 100% of the profit. I did not, and I got spurned. So, Keith, your favorite and ours, the early leans on the early line. Give us some other names that you are going to be tracking this week at the Travelers.
Well, there's no doubt that this is a home for Brian Harman. He has more top 10s here than I can count. So he's definitely one of the guys that should be on everyone's radar. And another guy that I'm going to keep an eye on this week for sure is Collin Morikawa, because I know he's up there at the top of the board. But when you lose a guy like Rory, those odds are going to keep shrinking. So I would jump on that as fast as you can. But if there's anybody that's been trending in golf, right? Here is a guy that over his last 6 starts, he has just continues to play better and better and better, and he is due for a victory. There is no doubt about that.
So, Keith Stewart, we appreciate the time on this Tuesday to be with us once again live from the Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands for a new week on the PGA Tour. We appreciate the look back as well and the reflection on the 2024 United States Open. Keith, you know what we need? Like Johnson Wagner for Golf Channel, we need you out there hitting some shots. and we'll get that live on SportsGrid, and we'll create that content. What do you say?
Hey, I'm a PGA professional. I can hit those shots with the best of them. So, hey, Johnson Wagner's been refreshing. Bryson's been refreshing. And anyone that's watching SportsGrid that's in the New York Metro City area, get up to Travelers this weekend. It's a signature event. Come on.
It's in Connecticut, not that far. More on the early line next.